Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another video. And we have a midweek FPL team selection video because there are just so many game weeks coming up. In this video, we're going to take a look at our game week 14 teams and look ahead to game week 15 teams, as well as some key transfers that you can expect. So make sure to stay tuned for that. Yelena, it's been like freaking forever. I'm so excited to see you. How's it going?
I know, it's been so long. I've really missed these videos, but I felt nervous at the start when you were doing the intro. I was like, oh God, I've forgotten how to do this.
I know, it's been too long, and we're gonna have like so many more now because we're trying to make every game week as well. So let's just jump right into it. Okay, wait, I've worked on my graphics and now I need to find the one that I want. Okay, so I want to do this and I want to do this. Woohoo! It worked.
So good.
Amazing. I'm so happy. So this is my game week 14 team. I did pretty good. Trippier and Gordon were the star of the show yet again. I didn't transfer out Watkins, and I was like kind of contemplating it, but then in the end I decided to hold him, and I was glad that I did because that was 11-pointer for him. I have held down to Bowen. A lot of people have transferred him out, and that's like one of the key things that I'm thinking about. I have so much money sunk into him because I transferred him in super early before everybody else started transferring him in. So that's kind of one key one that I'm thinking about. I ended up captaining Salah. It was 50-50 between Haaland and Salah. Ended up not making so much of a difference. And of course, I had Lascelles on the bench, but looking at my team, there wasn't really anybody that I would have played him ahead of since I already had Trippier in there, and I wanted to see if Bowen or Palmer, I didn't foresee Palmer getting rested, for example. So I'm pretty happy. Another green arrow for me. I'm super close to breaking into the top million, like finally. So we'll see if I can keep it up. But what about you? This is your game week 14 team.
Yeah, I'm really annoyed with myself because my biggest issues in my team at the moment are Cash, because he's one yellow card away from suspension, and then Kabore just because he's not very strong as an asset on my team. So I was thinking on Wednesday of doing Cash to Tomiyasu, and then I talked myself out of it because I didn't know if Tomiyasu was nailed or not. Obviously, Tomiyasu then goes and starts, gets an assist, gets the clean sheet point because he was subbed off before Arsenal conceded. And I was kicking myself because for some reason I transferred out Watkins, and he's been the most consistent player in my team. But I thought I'll transfer out Watkins, downgrade him to Wood, and then I'll be able to upgrade McGinn to Mbomo. So whilst I got a green arrow and I was happy with it, I'm really annoyed with myself because I don't normally make 2 free transfers in a week and take out such key players. So I don't really know what I was playing at, to be honest. So I am with the team, but I'm a bit disappointed in myself. I think it was the wrong decision.
Yeah, but I think it's hard because I saw literally everybody on Twitter was saying, oh, take out Watkins, take out Bowen. And I kind of like wasn't paying so much attention to social media. Otherwise, I probably would have done the same thing. And I just made my transfer decisions at my company Christmas party with my friend. Shout out Adam, if you're watching, who's also like super into fantasy. And he was like, no, keep Watkins. And I was like, okay, whatever you say.
Bring him into the video this week. We need his help.
I know, I'll try to get him on because I think he would be a lot of fun. So that brings us kind of perfectly to our game. And I'm so pissed because I freaking had to go to Gordon in game week 12. And of course, that was the one game week that he blanked. And he's been doing phenomenal since then. And he's been getting goal contributions like every week except game week 12. I was like, are you joking me right now? Like, I couldn't believe my luck. But let's go straight to you, Yelena, because you spoke a little bit about your transfer already.
Yeah, so this is me making up for not doing it last week. So I'm going to do Cash out. They're playing City. I think it's going to be a really difficult fixture. I don't see a clean sheet there. knowing my luck now, Cash will probably get 3 assists or something ridiculous. But cash out, bring in Tomiyasu. I think he's really proven himself as a player. He's a really versatile player as well. We can play on the left, you can play on the right. I think he's just a really good asset to have. And he's that budget option for Arsenal defence as well. So I think he will definitely outscore Matty Cash this week.
Yeah, and I think like Matty Cash is one of those players that a lot of people had in their teams, and then we've all been kind of looking to transfer him out. I think I transferred him out 2 game weeks ago, and it seems like it's probably time for him in our teams. Mine, I went for goalkeeper because Nick Pope got injured. Looks like he dislocated his shoulder, and I think he's going to be out. He might need surgery, so he could potentially be out for a couple of months, and it's come out reports that Newcastle might even try in the transfer window. So my transfer is to transfer out Pope and transfer in their second keeper, Dubravka, because he's just 3.9 mil at the moment, and I think that he's going to be Newcastle's starting goalkeeper, at least for the foreseeable future. And they'll have really good fixtures coming up as well. Everton away, Spurs away, and then Fulham at home, Luton away, and Forest at home. So I do foresee them keeping some clean sheets. And I always felt like kind of weird having the double Newcastle defense because I had Lascelles and Trippier. But kind of having that built into your goalkeeper, it doesn't make me feel like as odd about it for some reason. So I think that that could be good place, and to finally get Areola out of our teams because he's done nothing every week. So that's mine. And what do you think about the chat? I didn't ask the chat. I've picked on behalf of them because we had a really quick turnaround for this video. But what do you think about this one? Alvarez out to Darwin in.
So it's really interesting because Alvarez is one that I thought would really come back and haunt me because I haven't had him this season. And I think I've gotten away quite lightly with not having him. And I think a lot of people now are kind of going, you know what, take him out. So I think this is probably a very popular transfer. The thing is with Darwin is we know what he's capable of. And you watch him play and he looks as though he'll have an open goal and you think he's going to like score. And then it doesn't happen. So I think this is one where the chat is either going to score so many points or Darwin will completely blank. And the fixture is perfect for Liverpool this week. They've got Sheffield United away. Surely Darwin is going to hold finally. But Darwin is one of those players you just don't know what you're going to get, very much all or nothing. So I think that's it's a fun transfer idea.
I know, and I'm kind of like looking at my team and trying to think like, can I fit Darwin into my team? I'm not going to sell Haaland. I'm not going to sell Watkins. Who do I realistically bench to play him? But I'm feeling a bit of FOMO about that as well because they have a really good fixture. So that kind of brings me to my team. I have 2.4 mil in the bank. I have 2 free transfers this week because I rolled last week. And I quite like my team. I like this midfield. The only player that I'm missing is Son. He kind of killed me a bit this week with his 10-pointer. Spurs do have pretty good fixtures. And I just don't really know like where I would fit him into this team because I don't want to sell Saka yet. At one point I was thinking about selling him, but now he's been returning for me. I'm not going to sell Salah. I'm not going to sell Gordon. And so that kind of leaves me, do I sell Bowen and upgrade him to Son potentially? Do I see like more gain in that? But like I said, I have so much money sunk into Bowen. And so the other thing I was thinking of was potentially doing Dubravka, Areola to Dubravka, and then Lascelles to like a Taylor or something like that. And that would give me some extra money in the bank, but I would be using my 2 free transfers. But I can't bring Dubravka in right now because I have triple Newcastle already. So what do you think? What would you do if you were me?
That's interesting because my gut instinct was do the Dubravka transfer, but then roll the other one. But obviously, triple Newcastle, you do have to use both if you are going to do that move. I think the Son, again, Son is one similar to Alvarez, where I think I had him for 1 game week and then I transferred him out after my wild card. And again, I think we've gotten away quite lightly not having him in, but seeing him this game week, I was like, oh no, here it comes. And while Spurs don't look like, massively strong, and they've got loads of injuries, and they started off the season on such a high, and now it's just kind of classic Spurs, isn't it? It's just gone downhill for them. But the goals are coming from Son, and he is managing, unless they're offside, he is scoring. So it's quite a tricky one. I think I prefer using the 2 free transfers, Ariola and Lascelles. And then I like the idea as well of downgrading Lascelles. And then I think, because it sounds silly, but because we've got a midweek deadline, it kind of feels as though it's a free transfer anyway. Like, we've got like a bonus transfer for the week, because then we're going to have the deadline again at the weekend. So then you'll have another transfer and hopefully can roll it and have 2 going into next game week. So I think just go for it. I think the Dubravka shout's really good. Alternatively, have you got Turner on your bench?
I do, yeah.
Because you could do, because I think Turner's 4.1, so you could downgrade him to Dubravka, and then at least then, depending on what happens in Newcastle and what they decide to do with their keeper over the next couple of weeks, you'll have Arrow as the backup.
Oh, that's a good shout as well. This way I don't like completely like shoot myself in the foot.
Yeah, just in case, because the way FPL is going.
I know they're gonna like buy a new goalkeeper to compete or something with that for the number 2. So I think that's kind of what I'm leaning towards. It gives me another game week or 2 to decide on Bowen as well, and kind of see like if I do want to sell him. Because yeah, like you said, we've gotten away, and Son has actually blanked in quite a few game weeks, so I wasn't feeling like I was missing him until this game week. So I want to give it a little bit more. So those are my transfer plans. I think I'm kind of feeling pretty good about that. What about you? How are you feeling about your team?
Oh, Ralph's growling. He's not impressed.
Tells you all you need to know.
I don't know. So I think I'm either going to do Turner to Dubravka this week, or I'm going to roll, because the transfer that I'd want to do is Cash to Tomiyasu. But I feel as though Trippier, Gahey and Pinnock for this game week are okay for my defence. So I think maybe trying to be patient. And the less I touch my team, the better it does, as shown by last week using my 2 free transfers. I was the same as you. I was quite on the fence about Saka. I wasn't sure whether or not to keep him, but I've got faith in him again. And especially for the Luton fixture, I'm hoping that he'll manage to score. Gordon, his flag, I'm a little bit concerned about, but I don't really trust the flags anymore. I think they're being used too freely. So I'm going to assume he's fine. But the midfield, I'm really, really good. Palmer, how gutted were you when the penalty was given? And I know, I was absolutely fuming.
I was like subbed off the next minute. I was like, you've got to be joking me, like, for real.
Because Palmer's getting returns, but we know a lot of those are penalties, becoming so lucky, and that's why so many people have brought him in. And I think he's such a consistent player. Otherwise, I think some other players you could consider, Sterling maybe, there's a higher ceiling, but less of a chance, I think, of him actually getting those returns. Whereas Palmer, you can just rely on him, and then he wasn't even playing. So that was really annoying. And then Darwin, I think if Darwin doesn't score against Sheffield, I will definitely have to consider taking him out for the following game week, because it will just be ridiculous. And then my bench, I would be quite tempted to play Wood. Forest are playing away to Fulham, and I think it takes you back to the Championship days, because obviously they got promoted in the same year. So I think it could be quite a fiery match. I definitely see goal both sides. So I'm slightly tempted to play Wood, but I think the starting 11 is probably fine as it is.
Yeah, I really like your team, and I feel like you have these super like unique picks that end up doing really well. So I would just say, like, go with your gut, because you tend to be right about it, you know?
Well, this is because I was going to originally downgrade Watkins to Archer, but then everyone has Archer, and I was like, I need someone, because as much as I do like my team, there's no one in there now. I've got rid of McGinn. There's no one in there that I think, oh, I'm really excited to see how they do. Even with Mboma, I changed my whole team around to bring him in. But when he got the assist, I was just like, oh, okay, good. He got a return. But I wasn't that excited. So I think Chris Wood will be that excitement in the team.
But it's important to like have these players that you're just like excited about as well. I think that's like the fun of the game. I really like your team. I was also considering bringing in like a Palace defender, but they have, I think after this game week, like a pretty difficult run of fixtures. Liverpool, City, Brighton, Chelsea, Brentford, Arsenal. So I think I like missed the boat on the Palace defenders, but I was kind of thinking of bringing one in and just had more priority transfers that I needed to make. But I really like your team.
I'll just say my captaincy is going to go on Salah. I'm not captaining
I was just
Haaland.
going to ask you. I was just going to ask you about the captaincy. So
Yeah,
why Salah?
no, wait. Salah, I mean, Sheffield United, you have one every season. There is a team where you just know there's going to be goals. And unfortunately for Sheffield fans, it's them. Sheffield United fans will get told off otherwise. So I'm going to go for Salah, and I'm really hoping, I'm manifesting that it's going to be Salah assist or goal with Darwin on the other side of whatever. So we're going to double up on points there. I would love to captain Haaland, and I wouldn't be surprised if he does get away with a goal and an assist. But we just know what he's like away from home. He's nowhere near as strong. And I was a bit surprised by how he played at the weekend. I don't know if you saw, but he literally had an open goal, completely missed it, went over the bar. Like, there were so many opportunities that he had, and he wasn't quite on it. So I don't know if I feel as confident in him. Whereas Salah, I think, has Sheffield United written all over him, really. What about you?
Yeah, I think I'm going to go for Salah as well. I actually captained him over Haaland in this game week, which I think I lost 4 points in the grand scheme of things. So not the biggest deal, 2 or 4 points, something like that. But yeah, I think that fixture is just too good to ignore. I'm just like praying that it's not another one of those like Bournemouth 9-0 where Salah doesn't get a single goal or somehow. But I do think that he's probably the best captaincy pick for this week. So I hope that it pays off.
It feels too obvious sometimes, doesn't it? Because I think even this week, what was Liverpool's? Did they score 4 goals this weekend, or was it 3?
Yeah.
4.
Yeah, 4. Yeah.
And if I'd have seen that result and not been watching the game, I would have expected Darwin and Salah to both have at least a goal each, like an assist as well or something. So then part of me thinks maybe go for Saka against Luton. But I think I know, let's throw it in the last 5 minutes of the video. No, I think Salah is the sensible move this week. But if you're feeling wild, fast forward to next week when Saka's got his first hat trick of the season.
Yeah, totally. I'm gonna like clip this if that happens, like 100%. But guys, I think that wraps us up for this game week preview. It's been a good one. Hope that you guys enjoyed it and that it was useful. We love making this, and we've missed making these videos as well. So we'll be back on Friday or maybe Thursday. I haven't decided when we're going to post. Maybe Thursday with our typical team selection video ahead of the game week. Sorry that I'm like all sniffly and gross. I'm still feeling really ill. Yelena, any last thoughts before we head out?
Make sensible decisions. That's my advice for this week. Don't do what I did. Try and go wild just because you got 2 free transfers. You played it really well. We were messaging literally in the morning, and I was like, I think just you'll be fine. Like, keep Watkins, and you've kept Watkins, you've kept Bowen, and I think it's really paying off for you. In your last 2 game weeks, your green arrows have been ridiculous. I think it was game week 13. I texted you. I was like, have you seen your score? You're doing so well.
Yeah, it's been a couple of good game weeks after having the roughest start to the season imaginable. I've gone from being upwards of 4 million to 1.3 in a couple of games, which is good. So hopefully we can keep on the up and up. And guys, if you're watching this video, make sure to sub to Yelena's channel. Check out all of her fantasy content because it's like super unique and amazing. And while you're at it, sub to this channel as well. Have a lot of cool content coming out, and as you can see, I've been working on the graphics behind the scene. Doesn't look like so much, but it takes me an embarrassingly long amount of time to do something like this.
You've hit 14k subscribers, haven't you? So it's paying off.
I think I'm on like 14,000 exactly. So if anybody unsubscribes, I'm back down to 13,999. So once we're at like 14,020 or something,
we'll celebrate. Okay, ignore me.
Better about it. Yeah. Well, guys, hope that you enjoyed this video. Best of luck in your game weeks, and see you all later. Have a great rest of your day, evening, whatever time you're watching this. And until next Thursday, Friday, we're out. Bye.
Bye.